The auditorium was filled with claps and cheers, the proud voices of parents echoing off the high ceilings. Our son, Daniel, walked across the stage in his graduation gown, a wide smile lighting up his face as he received his diploma. My heart swelled with joy. This was the moment we had been waiting for. Years of late nights, school projects, and endless encouragement all leading to this. I clutched the camera in my hands, trying not to cry as I captured his moment of triumph. But what I didn't know was that in just a few seconds, my own life was about to unravel. As the applause died down and we stood for pictures, my husband, Richard, turned toward me with an unreadable expression. In the midst of celebration, when families around us were hugging, laughing and snapping photos, he leaned in and whispered words that hit me harder than any blow. "I'm leaving you." For a moment, the world went silent. I couldn't even process what I had heard. My ears rang with confusion, and I thought perhaps I had misheard him. But his cold eyes confirmed it. He straightened his tie and repeated it, louder this time, as if he wanted the venom to be clear. "After tonight, I'm done. I've been seeing someone else, and I can't do this anymore." I stood frozen in disbelief. On the very day that was supposed to be about our son's achievement, he chose to shatter our family. My hands trembled as I tried to keep my composure. Parents milled around us, and Daniel was laughing with his friends, unaware of the storm brewing just a few feet away. I swallowed hard, determined not to let Richard's cruelty ruin this day for our boy. I forced a smile, nodded stiffly, and said nothing. Inside, my chest was tight with pain, betrayal, and anger. But I told myself that this was not the place, not the time. My son's happiness came first. I would not let Richard's announcement steal Daniel's moment. For the rest of the ceremony, I clapped and cheered louder than anyone, while inside my heart was breaking. Afterward, as we gathered for pictures, Richard's arm brushed mine. His voice was calm, almost smug, when he muttered, "I'll tell Daniel tonight. He deserves to know the truth." That was when something inside me shifted. I knew this man, who was once my partner, no longer cared about anyone but himself. He wanted to make his exit as dramatic as possible, regardless of how it hurt his own son. That evening, when Daniel proudly invited us both to dinner with his classmates and their families, I agreed without hesitation. Richard seemed irritated, as though he had expected me to break down, to beg or plead. Instead, I stood taller, smiled wider, and carried myself with dignity. At the restaurant, Daniel beamed with pride as he introduced us to his professors and friends. He deserved 2 supportive parents, even if one of them had already betrayed him. As the night went on, I could feel Richard's eyes boring into me. He wanted me to crumble. But instead, I laughed with Daniel, celebrated his success, and made sure the evening was unforgettable, for the right reasons. When dessert arrived and everyone lifted their glasses in a toast, I finally spoke, my voice steady, my heart resolute. "Daniel," I said, looking directly into my son's eyes, "I am so proud of you. Everything you've achieved today is proof of your hard work, your resilience, and your character. No matter what happens, you are my greatest blessing." My words trembled slightly, but I continued. "Life will bring challenges, some you won't see coming, but never forget. Your worth is not defined by anyone else's choices." The table applauded, and Daniel's smile grew wider. Richard, however, grew red with anger. He slammed his hand on the table, startling everyone. His voice rose, filled with rage. "Stop acting like you're perfect. You think you can just stand there and pretend everything is fine? Tell him the truth." The restaurant fell silent. Forks froze midair. All eyes turned toward us. Daniel's smile faltered, confusion clouding his face. I turned calmly to Richard, my heart pounding, but my voice controlled. "The only truth Daniel needs to know tonight is that his family loves him. This is his night, not yours to destroy." But Richard didn't stop. He stood up, his chair screeching against the floor, and pointed at me. "I'm done with her, Daniel. I've been unhappy for years. I've found someone else, and I'm leaving your mother." Gasps echoed around the table, but all I could see was the hurt flashing across my son's face. In that moment, I knew I had to act. I stood, placed a steady hand on Daniel's shoulder, and looked at him with unwavering love. "Daniel," I said softly, ignoring the stares of the entire restaurant. "Your father may be leaving me, but he is not leaving you. His choices are his own. You are not to blame, and you will never be abandoned." Daniel's eyes welled with tears as he stood and embraced me. The room blurred around us, and for the first time that night, I let my tears fall. Richard, meanwhile, grew louder, his voice breaking into a scream as he shouted accusations, trying to justify his betrayal. But the more he screamed, the smaller he seemed. His rage only revealed his weakness, his selfishness. Eventually, embarrassed by the stares and whispers of the crowd, Richard stormed out, leaving behind nothing but his empty chair and shattered pride. The silence that followed was heavy, but also strangely peaceful. Daniel hugged me tighter and whispered, "Thank you, Mom. You're the only one I need." That night, I drove home with my son by my side. My heart was still broken, but it was also stronger. Richard's betrayal would not define me. Instead, I realized that love, resilience, and dignity would carry us forward. In the months that followed, life wasn't easy. There were court hearings, hard conversations, and quiet nights when the pain resurfaced. But slowly, Daniel and I built a new rhythm together. We laughed again, dreamed again, and found strength in our bond. Looking back now, I see Richard's announcement for what it truly was. Not the end of my life, but the beginning of a new chapter. He thought breaking me would free him, but all he did was reveal his own weakness. In his absence, I discovered a strength I didn't know I had. To anyone listening, I want to say this. Sometimes the people we love the most will hurt us in ways we never imagined. But pain does not mean defeat. When life falls apart, you can choose to rise, to stand tall, and to protect what truly matters. My marriage may have ended that night, but something greater was born. My son's respect, my own courage, and the realization that no betrayal is strong enough to destroy the love of a mother who refuses to give up. And that, I believe, is worth far more than anything Richard ever could have taken from me.